Aha! Welcome to the Friday Rift livestream. I know we've surprised you because for the first time ever in the history of Rift livestreams, we're live before 11:30. I mean, 2 minutes early. You can't ask for more than that. Okay, we're done. Bye. Have a nice weekend. No, this is going to be a really cool stream. I'm just checking to see what Cole's doing there. I thought he actually switched us off for a second there. Don't take me seriously, man. I don't mean what I'm saying.
You said we were done. We were done.
Right, so we're going to do an art stream today. This is going to be a lot of fun, but before we even introduce our friends here, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that we are going to Gamescom. We do not have a booth on the show floor, but we are in the press area. I know that Seshatar and Keypro are both doing interviews with Arconics, and so that should be really great. Look out for those. And Seshatar has also organized a Rift campout, which is about 18 minutes walk from Kölnmesse, the Gamescom arena. And I'll be walking out there, so will Arconics, and so will Colonizer. And the Blue Muzzy. All four of us are going to go there, mainly because we heard something about chicken, pork, sausages, and, oh yes, beer. So we shall see you there. We've all got our passports ready. Notice mine says Kanadistan on it, totally legit. We have our new try-on code cards ready, which we'll be giving out to press, and we're going to give Seshatar and Keypro a bunch of those as well. We have our plane tickets ready, and hopefully we've got all of our notes in order, and we shall see you there. Okay, so on with the Rift stream. You rarely see artists out in the wild. They usually live in these little dark corners. They have like black blankets up above there. Nobody talks to them. Half the time we don't even know who they are. I didn't know these guys worked here. I thought they just came in off the street this morning. That's not true. We do know these guys.
It's true. It's true.
As you know, Rift art gets a lot of praise all across the game industry. It's amazing, it's classy, it makes the game look much younger than it's 6 years. So I'd like our two artists to introduce yourselves. How long have you been in the industry? How long have you worked at Tryon? And what your specialty is here. Go!
My name's Tim. Hi there. I'm a character artist.
Some call him Tim.
I've never heard this.
Really?
No. Yes. So
Yes.
I've been at Tryon for a little over a year.
Okay.
And so I do characters here. And
Great. Now that gives me some questions to ask you later.
Cool.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ferd, and I'm one of the senior character animators on Rift.
Great. All right. So, and how long have you been here?
I've actually been here since 2008, so I was here at the very launch
Oh, wow.
of the game.
That's terrific.
So.
And Tim, where did you work before you worked here at Tryon?
at Disney.
Oh, at Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
Interesting. Doing the
Very
same sort of work?
I did characters there. I did a lot of props. I did environment work. So at Disney, it was like, oh, you do everything.
All right.
Not everyone did that, but I did everything there. So.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
super happy to have you here.
Cool.
All right, so let's get started. What are you going to show us today? I can hardly wait.
Okay, so, well, first off, thanks for letting us come here. This is awesome. And I'm going to try to briefly show the process of how we do a character here on Rift. And hopefully it won't be too boring, but some of this is exciting for me. So I'll try to get through the, through the duller stuff and get to the cool stuff as quick as I can.
It's all cool.
Well, it is all cool, but some parts I like more than others. So, all right. So first, the first thing we get is concept. We have awesome concept artists here, and when I saw this concept come through the pipeline, I was like, "Ooh, I want to make this. Anything that glows looks really cool." So this was one reason I really wanted to make this guy. And this is like our, what is it, Decayed Warrior, something like that. And he's, you can see in the concept artist has got all this good reference. His skin should be cracked. He's just pointing out all these materials.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a good idea of what this guy's going to look like. So there's the concept for this guy. And then the next step would be, once we have the concept...
So let's talk a little bit about the concept art, actually. If you could just
sure.
go back to that for
Sure.
one moment. who decides what the overall look of the character should be? I mean, are they reading lore? Are they reading quests? Or, you know, how do they get to the idea of, like, this guy, clearly he's had a lot of his skin burned away.
Sure.
There's some really weird space nebula stuff coming through. That's the Tenebrian stuff. It looks like he's got some old armor that it either grows into his skin or it was burned into his skin. Who decides on this?
I'm pretty sure that designers have a meeting and they come up with, like, for this release, we're going to need this. So they brainstorm with concept, I believe.
Mm.
And then concept, you know, they interpret that, and that's how they come up with this.
Cool.
So yeah, it's like, I have no idea what's coming, you know? I'll just get an email with new concept, and it's all completely new to me. And,
Are you serious? So you just come into work and you open your email one
all
morning.
the time. All the time.
And there's this awesome stuff sitting there.
All the time, yeah. And
I want your job.
There's too much cool stuff. It's awesome. So yeah, we go to concept, and then any fans out there that play Rift, there's so much content in this game. So one of the first steps we do is, so that character needs to be built on this old rig, and a rig is just like a skeleton. And we do this for a lot of assets. Pretty much all video games do the same type of process where you've already got a skeleton made, so why restart from scratch? So I'm going to build that character on this old rig. And the rig is just like, it's a way to animate this character.
Okay.
And so when I look at this old model, I can see that I'm going to have to, you know, he's got these long, lengthy proportions and everything, and he's already pretty emaciated, so it's really close to the character I'm going to be making anyway. But I just have to make sure that I build him as close to...
oh, wait, the chat is asking what program you're using.
Oh, this is Maya.
Okay.
This is Maya. So now that I've got this character, I need to start building on this skeleton, and I think I can show you the skeleton. This button. Oh, yeah. So you can see here, it gets a little messy in here.
Right.
So you can see, like, each little finger doesn't have its own joint. He's kind of got this little
mittens.
Yeah.
So
And that's
he's
just
not
because of
too
the
articulated.
Is it because of the processing time required to move fingers individually
That's
in a
probably
game?
a part of it. And also,
yeah, I mean, it's because it's an NPC. You know,
So it's not that important.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're just gonna kill him, right?
yeah,
Pretty
basically.
much, yeah. Okay, so I would take this really rough model, and then I would bring this into ZBrush. And, let me show you this first, sorry. So before I start sculpting anything, that's what ZBrush is for, is to start sculpting all these details. The first thing I try to do is, you can also see he's got this helmet concept.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Right
saw
over
that
here.
on a previous stream, which is really cool.
The first thing I always do is I start gathering more reference. So like when I saw, you know, he's got this cracked, dry skin, I have to start oftentimes looking up really gross things for reference.
Oh, I bet.
And so I wanted to look up, you know, this type of skin and really bony,
This is from
sinewy
our
stuff.
This is from just outside our back door, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So this is from Walking Dead, and to me, I just see a bunch of really good textures, like things I could incorporate. And I have a lot of reference when I start, but this is just a quick example. So that's a good place to start. And then I was looking for someone who had, you know, nice bony features to their face. And I forget this actor's name, but I'm not going to use it entirely. Yeah, it is Max. But it's just a good starting point, you know, for proportions and
So
everything.
you use it for inspiration and general guidelines.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly.
The dad from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, he was also in that Walking Dead. No, what was it? Dawn of the Dead movie as well.
I think most of us old fogies know him as Max Headroom from the
Max
80s.
Headroom.
Yep,
Yeah.
I remember that. Okay, so then I jump over to ZBrush, and this is already completed, but I could try to show you. I've got a few camera bookmarks.
So you can see the inspiration from those previous pictures, the high cheekbones and the
And one thing I'll do is I'll bring in my concept. So I'm always, I'm constantly looking at concept and reference, and I'll bring this guy in so I can see what he's looking like and stuff, and I'll just hide that and keep sculpting. But
That's cool. You can
so
bring
here's
in
this.
an image from
Yeah. So here's this. I always thought of him as like the zombie guy, but you can see he's. I don't know if this will show how well this will show up in the stream, but he's pretty detailed. The computer's chugging right now. This is 20 million polygons.
Right.
And I think once they're in the game, he's going to be maybe 3,000 polygons.
So you always start out with something more highly detailed, and then
Yeah.
it can just be the resolution or the pixels can be not pixels. Sorry, the polygons are reduced before you put it in game.
Right.
Okay.
So you can see I tried to give him really sunken abs and all this stuff. He should look pretty sickly, is what the direction was.
Awesome.
So he's got like his arms are kind of turning into ash.
Right.
So
yep.
it's got
starting
like
to
that.
look like charred wood.
Right, exactly. And I use several programs in here for cloth stuff. This is done in Marvelous Designer.
Okay, so I have to stop you there
Uh-huh.
because this question does come up.
Okay.
Are your models underneath the pretty purple stuff, are they anatomically correct, or do you just dispense with that because it's never going to show in game anyway?
Let's find out.
I'm scared to find out. We're not all going to get fired now, are we?
No.
Okay.
No.
so-
I'm not going to bother with that stuff.
Got it.
Actually, I think I did do something here before. We had like the zombie horse, and I did go a little too anatomical, and they're like, no, you should take that out.
Really? Interesting.
It makes sense. You don't need to see that stuff, I guess. But, yeah, so here's this sculpt of this zombie guy. Let's see what I got here. Okay, so one thing I do...
Confirmed, all our models are Ken dolls. And
Pretty much.
Barbies.
So you can see I've got all my different layers and stuff. He's broken up into all these different parts. Like, for example, right there. There's his little armor plates in the front of him. And, like this black area right here, I know that that's going to be like material effects.
Right.
So that's just, I'm going to use that as a mask at some point. I'm not going to spend any time working on that.
Okay, because that's going to be replaced with a sort of Tenebrian cosmos
Exactly.
imagery. Right.
Exactly. And, a lot of the stuff like this little orb, if I look at the concept, this is all flashy. It's just placeholder stuff because I'm not to that stage where it would be, this would be texturing. So a lot of it's just placeholder stuff. But one thing that's really cool is when I'm sculpting something like this, I've got layers. So this is him finished, and I have this layer over here where he's, before I started adding all his details. So if I go here, I'm punching 0. So now, like, that's pretty much where I started, just to rough him in. So he's got all his ribs showing and everything. And then if I start cranking this up, you can see all his details start popping in.
Insane. So how long would you spend doing this model over from the original that you started with?
So this guy probably took, I'd say, 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. There's a lot of work that can go into some of these. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied at this point, and I normally try to talk to concept artists. Is there anything you would change, or is this what you're thinking? Because they oftentimes have a better idea than I do. So I like to get their feedback, and I'll incorporate stuff. Like an example is all this metal stuff that's sticking out of him. I originally had it much different, and then the concept artist explained, actually it should be like this, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went back and kind of resculpted all this stuff, and so yeah, it's a lot of collaboration.
So let me talk about that a little bit then.
Okay.
When you've just put 14 hours of work into something, and then somebody comes back and says, oh no, that's not what I meant at all. I want you to go back and redo it like this and this and this. This is why I don't do graphic arts anymore professionally, because that's when I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle it. No, this is my work, and I know this is what I want it to look like. Screw you.
Right.
So how do you handle that? How do you bridge that gap between your amazing creativity and what someone else wants?
So I would say, I think the vast majority of the time is when I hear something like that, often what I'll hear is even better than what I was thinking.
Ah,
So it's not always like, no, my way's the right way. I can easily be sold because it's like, oh, this is going to look much better. Like the task I'm doing right now, the art director I'm working with, he's always giving me good ideas, and it's just a lot of collaboration. I would say that I don't throw my arms up in the air and storm out of there. It's just sometimes things are vague, and it's easy to interpolate things differently.
means you guys must have a really good relationship working across the team.
Oh yeah, this place is the best. So many super talented, very cool people here. I can't complain. So let's say at that point the sculpt's all done, and just a few bookmarks on this guy. This is what I love as a character artist. It depends on what you want to do, but I love creatures and beasts and all that sort of thing. And that's just like all we do on Rift. So it's awesome getting to do all these, cool things.
Yeah.
So at that point, let's say my sculpt is done, 20 million polygons. Then I'm going to jump over to, let's see. Then I'm going to go back into a program like Maya, and then I'm going to start building the game model. Because you can see this guy he's like 5,000 polygons. So if I go, bear with me. Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a point. How about new beards for dwarves, specifically female dwarves?
New beards for dwarves. That could happen. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm taking away
it's
your time.
possible.
We're gonna run out of time real fast if I don't shut up.
Okay. So at that point, the next step is I build the game model over this high-res detail, and this is also like really common in the game industry. You can't have a 20 million character running around.
Right.
So I just build over this, and I'm going to eventually bake all these high-res details into this character. So you can see there's nothing really impressive about this, but it's the right polygon limit, hopefully, because you want it to run efficiently and things like that.
Of course, yes.
And then the next thing I would do is, once he's all built, really simple. A lot of characters, depending on what game you're working on, this guy could be 40,000 polygons, but, he is like a mob guy, so he's pretty light. Then the next thing you're going to do once he's built is you have to unwrap him. And that...
Peeling the skin off.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for me to explain what unwrapping means exactly, but it's basically exactly that. You're peeling this character apart so you can texture him, and you're basically just giving the character a way to be unfolded so you can texture him properly. And if we look at his UVs, let's see real quick.
How do you actually figure out what goes where? I've always wondered.
Yeah,
like I'll see a texture map like this. I'm like,
exactly.
Ah.
I mean, I look at a texture map like that and I go, that looks like a
These...
load of pizza just got spilled on the highway.
Yeah, these never make sense.
None.
Especially faces unwrapped. Faces unwrapped always look super weird.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is, definitely practice. Learning how some things work, how to place things. And so you can basically unfold this and let the program just throw it automatically.
Okay.
But I oftentimes manually place some stuff because I don't want my character's head EVs flipped at some weird angle when I'm texturing him. So a lot of it's just practice. But ignore all this old texture stuff. But yeah, so he's unwrapped at this point. And then the next step, this is my favorite part of the process, is texturing. So for texturing, I use this program called Substance Painter. And for the longest time, the industry basically just used like Photoshop. But Photoshop just can't do what modern texturing tools can do. So real quick, I'll try to... do I have any time left?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Real quick, I'll try to show...
we'll just lock the door and the Trove guys won't be able to get in. It'll be great.
I'm fine with that. So for the texturing process, once he's all unwrapped and everything, I've baked all the details. I bring him into this
baked,
program.
what does that mean?
Baked is like...
you permanently combine some aspects, or...?
Yeah, so I would have the high-res model under here.
Okay.
And it's going to bake all those high-res details onto this low-res character.
Okay.
So all the bumps and all that stuff is going to show up on here, which you can see in a second when I move the lights on here. So this is the character finished, but I'd like to break it down real quick and show you just a few cool things. So one thing that's cool is you can see if I go, like on his back is a good
Wow.
example. So on his back you can see all those high-res details popping up here.
That's insane.
Um,
And
So-
this is now the much lower polygon model
yes,
too, right?
exactly. And I've also started to add a bunch of things for his skin. But yeah, so all that stuff's been baked in now, and I'm just rotating the light around so you can see that happening. And then I start, you know, he's broken up into these different materials. He's got his skin, he's got his metals and stuff. And over here you can see all that, like here's skin, metals, ash would be probably his arms right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yes.
So, you know, you're
This
just
is
slowly
stunning.
building up all these layers and stuff. And real quick, I wanted to show just two things. Turn off all this stuff so you can see what I would normally do is. So here you can really see his normal map, which is just all those high-res details we have sculpted. So you can see right now, it's just completely a base color. Nothing's on there. And then I just always start gradually building up layers. So like this is his skin layer. So I've got nails. Now he's got nails. And
Well groomed nails.
yeah,
know, right?
yeah.
I know.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
there
some
we go.
dirt on there. And then the fun stuff is I get to start working on his skin. So for his skin, I threw in just all these little bumps.
Right.
You know, because I want it a little sickly looking. I don't want it looking perfect.
Yeah, it looks like he's covered with teeny blisters.
And the great thing about this program, Substance Painter, is a lot of the tools you use in here are all procedural. So I'm not stuck with just one option. So you can really experiment here. So like I've got all these little bumpy pores, for example. But it's like maybe I need much bigger pores.
Oh,
You can just
wow.
adjust a slider and dial all this stuff in and really play around.
Oh, that is just so creepy.
I can do this all day.
And as Dead Simon said in the chat, and then you guys just go in and nuke them in like 2 seconds flat.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why in my groups I have a really bad habit of just stopping, and I'm busy looking at the model and zooming in as close as I can on stuff because they're
I do
so
that.
amazing looking.
I do that all the time.
And then we all
Mods
die.
attack you.
When I'm playing video games, I'm constantly driving my wife nuts because she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just looking at characters in other games, studying environments, seeing how other people do stuff. You can always learn, so
The entire
I'm always
industry
doing
is
that.
incredibly collaborative. We share a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of information.
for sure.
There's lots of space for all sorts of different games that serve different different play styles.
So the next thing I would start doing is start adding some coloration. Again, I'm always looking at reference, and this is just, it's, let's see, really simple, but it's basically like this, another procedural cloud type, you can see. So I can just adjust it.
Right.
I don't want him this sickly, so, you know, just balance this stuff out.
That's incredible.
And the old way would do it would be in Photoshop. It's like you've got a layer and you're kind of stuck with that. And with this program, I don't have to worry about that. So now I'm just adding.
For all you art students out there, get a copy of Substance Painter.
It's fantastic.
But is it also fantastically expensive?
No, I think this is maybe like $600.
That's
possibly.
not too bad if that's what you want to do for a living.
Right, because like Maya, I don't know if you can buy Maya anymore, but Maya is like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And,
You can like subscribe to. All
yeah,
of that.
so that's all changed,
Yeah.
but this program's relatively cheap. For what you get out of it, it's just incredible. So I'm still just adding a few more color variations to this guy, and I've thrown on some, darken his eyes a little bit, and you can see also his eyes are shiny around that area. And let's see. I'm going to darken his lips a little bit and add in some fake
Oh,
lighting
some of the
behind
fake
the ears.
glow, yeah.
Subsurface. And then, so yeah, that's how I ended up with his skin. And just build up all the stuff. And then my favorite part, the whole reason I really wanted to make this character the most, is because, let's see, you know, he's got all these cool glowing bits. So that's always my favorite part of texturing is glowy things. So I'll show you how I did that. So I've got this mask right here, and all these areas are going to be glowing. So he's supposed to be glowing from the inside, so it's like I want this light kind of coming out of his torso and everything, kind of emitting out. So if I turn on this
It's like
layer,
seeping through all the little cracks and stuff.
Right.
Wow.
So that already
Okay,
that looks nuts.
Yep.
At the moment, but that's because you know I have to keep building up my layers. And the great thing again about this program is let's see, 0.48. It's like maybe that's glowing too much, so I can just dial that down. This might take a second because it's pretty high res texture, but you can see I can add more and more until I'm happy with it. So that's pretty good. So that's my starting color for the glows, and then I'm going to go to a little warm, add a little more warm in there, and then
Zed Serenity
even brighter.
Zed Serenity says, so is there a way we can have that program also so we can do our own art and send it to Tryon? You know what you got to do? You're going to have to really work hard to get a job on the art team here at Tryon. We have some incredibly good people, so go out, learn as much as you can, do an apprenticeship, start building models, and keep a portfolio online so that you can show your art to people.
Yeah, for sure. And then my last step is, I think, just even hotter highlights. And you can see, like, his eyes are glowing now.
Yeah, and you
to
can
me,
see
it looks
through
like,
the skin.
it really looks to me
He looks
like
molten inside.
Exactly. And then this was always cool is if I turn on, let me find shadows.
Oh, wow.
So now you can really see that this guy really looks like he's glowing from the inside. And so that's the whole main reason I wanted to make this guy.
It's pretty sweet looking, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's got that, and then at the very end he had a helmet which was broken up into a few pieces. So with this helmet, I think there's 4 versions of it, and like this chunk might be missing from one of the warriors. So this helmet's made of like 12 pieces, so you can get a little variation for all the soldiers out there. And yeah, that's it.
He looks about ready to explode.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he's all nice and glowy, and so that was that.
That is incredible.
And this is going on which character, which rig?
I'm not sure. Something that's very old.
There's so many characters we forget what the names are.
Yeah, I'm sure that you have. Naming conventions must be very difficult because you've got to keep track of these hundreds and hundreds of characters that you've made in the game.
So many assets in the game. Our technical artist, I always just bug him.
Yeah.
He knows all this stuff.
Yeah,
pretty much all the time, so I just
real
bug him.
confusing things too is like the art files are named differently than how they're called in the game.
Right. Yes.
So often when we get something from design as like a bug or something, and say this character is not working, and then we go, which one is that?
Yeah.
So unless they provided a screenshot or like, that guy.
Yeah. Right.
Let's see. And so again, at some point, if you're using this program, you could just always dial this stuff in. So that's always fun, is just how much you can experiment with this program, and you're not just limited. You can really explore with this program. So yeah, fantastic.
So what actually comes out? Like, what do you actually?
Oh yeah, so after this,
like, what's the final?
this is the game model that's all textured. But let's see, this is actually what the texture would look like. So here's the character all unwrapped, and this would be like his
The glow map.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably his specular, maybe. So this shows how shiny he is. So all the white areas are like, these are the more reflective areas.
Right.
There's just his diffuse color. So again, faces always look bizarre, unwrapped. And yeah, you can just cycle through all
I like
of
how
your,
to save space,
textures.
you stick his ear in his armhole.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
great.
you always have to find
It's just-
space. You can never have enough, but yeah, crammed all this guy in here. And also, one thing you do as a character artist is, you know, ideally you would like your character to be asymmetrical, but when it comes to texture space, you can't always do that.
Right.
So, like, both arms are probably symmetrical. Like, you could see he's only got one arm for his texture,
Right.
one leg,
Yep.
because, I mean, this area is unique, but the majority of it's not. So that's another thing you have to think about is you want to maximize as much space as you can, because you want your textures to be as big as possible so you get all the details. And so, yeah.
And you not crush systems with it.
Exactly. And then when this is all done, I just export these textures out, and then it gets rigged, and it's exported into the game engine. It's ready to go.
Great. Well,
pretty
thank you,
much it.
Tim.
Sure.
So, Ferd, what is it you do here besides being very decorative? You guys need to change seats now,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
So
yes,
that you can
okay.
drive.
Here we go.
All right.
Let me switch over here.
I am just blown away by this stuff.
So
It's
I do a majority of the character animations here for Rift. And we usually have a team of animators, obviously. So I'm one of the animators. So I guess I'll show you some of
Please do.
the models I work. So as Tim has said,
You can close that.
once just minimize it. Once the model has been created, textured and everything, the model then goes to. It doesn't come to me for right away. It goes to a character rigger, and that's usually Gene, who's not here today because he's busy rigging a bunch of characters. I can close this, right?
Go ahead.
Rigging a bunch of characters that
Yeah.
we probably aren't allowed
And,
to talk about.
Yeah, and we, when we talk about rigging characters, he's not simply just rigging a character. He's rigging like armor and clothing and all that kind of stuff. But once it's rigged, then it goes to an animator. Now, usually, I'll pick one from. This is from the first expansion that we did. What's it called? Storm Legion. And this is the manslaughter boss. I think I'm not sure, but I think you find him in the Golem Foundry. I think it's called.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. See, I've never been in there, so because
Because you don't have time to play these games.
No, I play, but it's like I never. There's these places where like, wow, where do I go in there? So yeah, here's somebody like an artist like Tim would model this out. Of course, we have concepts and everything. And then once it's been rigged, it comes to me, and as you can see, it's got all these controls. It's basically a puppet, right?
Okay.
Move him around, and sometimes, sometimes I would have a special request to the character rigger because I want the, I might have gotten feedback from a designer that they want a character to move a certain way, and if it's been set up one way, then I'm like, oh, okay, can you add this too, so that I can, really like make it shine, So basically, yeah, I just get a bunch of controls like this, and I move different parts around, and I start setting keys to basically, preserve.
And to perform.
Preserve So
Now it's not frame by frame animation like in cell
like
shaded
stop motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not like that. I mean,
you have like a start point and an end point, and then it does the math in between.
yeah. Well, I have the computer in betweens it for you basically. I'll open an actual animation file in a sec, but yeah, I just want to show you this is how the animators will usually get the rig, right? And a lot of times, when I get a character, I'm often actually inspired by the initial concept design. Like when I saw the concept for this guy, I immediately knew how he's gonna move. And then when I talked with the concept artist, he's also like, yeah, that's exactly how I was thinking. That's why I drew him this way.
Cool.
And then so it's kind of cool sometimes that everybody's brains just kind of click and
Yes, that is great.
that's exactly what I'm thinking. And then you show it to the designers and they get really excited, like But yeah, so as you can see, this one's a little complex, right? He's got all these controls, and so the animation is obviously right. It's a series of poses,
Right.
right? And keyframing is you set these keyframes to basically set that pose for that frame, and then you set a series of more poses so that you end up with a moving, right? Basically moving picture, right? But yeah, you have to properly pose the characters. In animation, we often say you gotta have a strong silhouette, right? Because like right now, you see how he's all lit and textured here, but if I were to turn the lights off and all you see is the outline, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, this is the information you'd go with, and you try to move, you try to position things so that
So that he
you
always
get
looks-
it communicates a certain feeling.
Right,
to you,
exactly.
And nowadays we're lucky because computers are a lot faster. You can actually see the characters fully textured. I mean, when I worked on player characters, right, I can actually dress them up, and put the armor on, and that even it inspires me even further.
Instead of dealing with
Yeah.
ugly silhouettes and
In
plain non-textured surfaces.
in the old days, we would get a character like this.
Yeah, well, that's no fun.
Because the machine is, it's not powerful enough to handle all the textures in real time. So it'd be like, we have to animate like this, and kind of boring, right? But nowadays we can have something like that, right? So yeah, obviously, as you can see, he's got, besides controls for arms, he's got controls for all the different weaponry he has. And admittedly, sometimes when I get a character, I move things that they're not meant to do.
Just because you can't resist.
But luckily, it exports like that, so it's still, it's still good when it shows up in the game. Hey, so far it's worked out. So I've been known to break character rigs because I want to push it as far as I can with that. Like if I can do this and something like flips suddenly, then I know that
Giant robot yoga.
Yeah, right. Yeah, then I know that it's past this limit, and I shouldn't probably push it that far.
Once it starts looking really awkward.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to push the poses as much as possible, because so that it looks interesting. So, okay, so let's say I animated this guy, right? And when we animate, usually we don't animate straight on the rig. We actually reference it into the scene because the rig can change. Again, you guys have, if you guys have been playing the game, you notice there are a lot of like humanoid characters that kind of move the same, and that's because they're using the same rig. It's using the same animation. They just, they.
And Sona Moena asked in chat whether you place the joints, and no, that's all done by the character rigger.
Yeah,
right?
the rigger does that. So
there are so many different people involved in making any single model.
Yeah, the joints are basically that's the skeleton. That's the skeleton of the character, right? You get a model that's like this, and it's like, okay, I got to put the joints where they're supposed to bend, and then the rigger also creates these controls that moves those joints. So that we don't have to like go in there and try to find a joint and move it. It's actually it's to our benefit, so we don't shoot ourselves later, right? So we have that guy, and now I'll open an actual animation file of that guy. This dude.
As we all squint at the screen.
Yeah, this dude. So this is what my animation workspace usually looks. I have 2 windows, and this here is called the graph editor, and this is where I see all the interpolations of the animation. Now to a lot of people, they're gonna be looking at this and like, what the hell is that? I mean, it's just a bunch of curves, and this indicates like the value and degrees of movement each part
for
basically.
each individual part.
Yeah, like right now I have let's say I'll select the chest. So if I scrub through, see,
I have to warn you, we only have about 10 minutes left,
Okay.
which
That's
is
cool.
terrible. I could sit here and watch this all
Well,
day.
I don't
You'll
wanna-
find me
yeah.
over at your cubes later
This-
on.
yeah, this
if I
is a-
wasn't packing for Gamescom,
Yeah, this is the first time we're doing animation demos, so it's to be
I
expected.
think we'll have you back.
So yeah, once I start animating the character, it starts to look like this, right? And again, often it's based on requests from design.
Mm-hmm.
They usually say, since this guy's a boss character, so he has like twice as much animation
As
everybody
the,
else.
Yeah, sure.
Almost comparable to say like a player character's animation set.
How many individual animations would a boss character have?
Oh crap! Off the top of my head,
That many, huh?
yeah, that's a lot. I mean, because you have casting and you have physical combat abilities like melees, damage, all that.
Right.
And then you have the movement sets like running, walking, and then finally
Falling down.
falling, dying.
After we
Idols.
pay no attention to them and one. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once in a while, and then again, depending on the character, we might have special spawning animations. So some characters drop in from the air,
Right.
some burrow out of the ground. I think this guy, he drops from the air. I'm not sure. I just remember animating him dropping from the air. Kind of like if anybody plays Titanfall, like that. So yeah, if I just let it play, this is one of the melee characters, so he's using his little,
His cute little spinny fingers.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
right, and he's obviously huge, right? Like I think maybe the player character is about this tall where the cursor is. But again, in the game, the designers sometimes they scale the characters bigger or smaller depending. He's also a mount. For those of you who play the game and have the manslaughter
The
mount.
Imperial Walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they're called Imperial Walkers, and here we're called manslaughters.
Yep.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah, the Imperial Walkers are really, really great looking. Always reminds me of playing Mech Warrior back in the day.
yeah. I've always liked mechanical robotic characters. So when I got this, I was like,
Yeah.
so happy. It's like I think he's actually our first mechanical character. I'm not sure, but so that's one. Here's another one. I'll show you another one. Okay, so this one, I'll make it bigger. Why am I making you suffer with a small window? So
How
this
long ago did you animate this, Ferd?
Storm Legion. So that long ago.
Long time
while
ago.
ago.
Okay.
So yeah, this one is the animation for using his main cannon. And it's so you'll see that it's one animation, but it's in fact actually chopped up into different
Into a
parts.
whole bunch of different
Yeah,
pieces.
like in the game, I think he has an enter where he assumes the posture, and then he might cycle like that for a while. And again, depending on how the designers set him up in the game, he might track you, or he might just stay put and just look in the same direction. And if you're like dumb enough to stay in the same place, he'll just shoot at that spot. And then it plays what we call an exit, where he fires the weapon and then he goes back to his aggro, and then whatever other movements he goes into next.
Mostly stomping on me.
Yeah, there's there's stomping, and I think there's like charge. I animated so many movements for this guy, but I had a blast because he was the first mechanical guy we had, and I was like, sweet. Robot. I like robots.
Yes.
I don't know how much time we got.
Well, we've probably got 10 minutes in total. We're probably going to do some giveaways, although I don't have the list of giveaways with me.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out what they want. Yeah, if Cole could check on that would be
Yeah,
terrific.
here's one more. This one's a Skelf from the
Stealth.
Nightmare
Just give me a
Tide.
moment. Yavier in the chat is reminding people to go vote for your favorite entries. Voting ends right after the stream. This is for the contest, the art contest that Seshatar has done. You totally need to do that. We're going to have to post an article about those.
Can't turn that off. Yeah, dual wield. So yeah, another one of my favorite characters in the game.
Is this another huge character?
I think he's slightly taller than a Bommy.
I-
They're big.
Yeah. And I can see that there are the little trails that show where the
Uh-huh.
different paths go.
Yeah, that's kind of so. Eric Vignola, when he rigged this, back in the day, we always had kind of it was a challenge to kind of see and feel the arc of the weapons. So what he did was he created this little thing where it generates these curves,
So that you can really study
so that we
them
can
and
actually
decide.
see where the arcs
Yeah.
are going. Because when the when the animation gets exported, it kind of gets compressed a little, so some of the smooth motion goes away,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But we need to save memory, so we try
Exactly.
to we try to do the best we can to make the animation arcs as smoothly as possible, so that they can still kind of look decent in the game.
His tail whipping is awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
that's
So
really
yeah,
great.
tails are not easy to do.
That's what I hear.
Tentacles,
Yeah,
tails.
tails and tentacles.
Because they have lots and lots of little joints.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and you
Yeah.
can see that he's got all these. What the heck are these? I mean, these are controls for other parts of the body. So there's a version of this guy that has a lot of spines,
Mhm.
and
And so they
basically,
have control points in place on the base model
Yeah.
so that you can add things.
yeah. So regardless what model it's using, we have to animate all these, right? Because we never know what's gonna get used in the game. So if they decided to take this character and use it at some quest somewhere, but then they decide to use a model that has the spines,
Mhm.
then we have to make sure that those spines are moving and not like static. So yeah, a lot of work goes into this, and but it's fun. I've always enjoyed animating.
So what is your opinion, guys? Do you have to go to school to learn how to do art and animation for gaming, or can you be self-taught?
I'm self-taught.
I so here's a strange, this funny thing. I went to school, but not for this.
Mm.
I
You went
originally
into accounting, right?
I went to art school to become a comic book artist.
Oh,
You know,
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I still draw, but that's kind of what's funny. Is like halfway through my first semester in art school, when I learned about the animation program, I kind of started leaning more towards animation, and it was all hand drawn animation. It wasn't like we didn't have Maya back then. This was '98. I'm old. Um, everything had to be hand drawn.
Uh-huh.
If you're doing stop motion, you have to physically sculpt and
Yes.
build your
Yep.
models and with armature and everything. So
And you
this,
decided that was fun.
yeah, I learned how to do computer animation. When I
Hey, Kalari Cuddles, can you work for Tryon with an art degree, or is that a no? We don't require degrees here. I have a grade 10 education. I'm self-taught everything. This guy's self-taught. No, you don't need a degree. What you need is talent, skill,
Skill.
passion. Those
Yeah.
are the things.
I
that
have
you
no
need.
degree either. So.
If
I've been in the industry for 10 years, and no one's ever asked for an art degree.
yeah.
I've never heard that.
So if you guys, those of you who are interested in becoming artists in the industry, that's kind of secondary. The most important thing is your ability to create fantastic art, and you want to work in an industry like this. Degrees, yeah, that's nice, but employers typically don't really.
They're going to
give
be
a crap.
looking at your portfolio.
Yeah, they don't care.
That's the most important.
They're gonna look at your reel. They're gonna look at your samples of your work, and if it resonates with.
And then, of course, in a
yeah.
company like ours, it's also very important that you have the right personality, because we
Sure.
do all collaborate. There's no, I have the right way to do things.
Yeah,
Even, even in my team, if I tell my team to go do something, I might be challenged on it. So you have to be able to work in a collaborative environment.
And
Super important.
going back to what you asked them earlier, how do you feel about when somebody says, I want your
Start over.
the model to look like
Yeah.
this. It's that's kind of part of the collaborative process, right? Like that's why it's important that you need to communicate with each other, because you could once we start working, I mean,
Yeah.
we're gonna be we get tunnel
Yes.
vision, and if we don't actively get up and seek feedback, then we could totally have derailed completely. Although it hasn't happened really, it's just
So I have one last request. Cole, is there a way that we can get that the contest on the screen here, so that we can quickly let these artists have a quick look at the winning entries?
So we would have to do it on this computer.
Yes, on that computer.
So if you
Should I get
go to Chrome,
This guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is, the vote closes on, okay, so let's see. Greetings from Vostigar. Oh, so this is a postcard contest. All right, so let's have a quick look at some of these entries. Right, so they're screenshots. They can be modified. They can be changed a little bit. If you could just scroll down and show a few more. Please make sure you guys go vote on these. Oh my God, that's great. I love that old-fashioned edge to that.
Yeah.
And
like
these, of
this
course,
one.
these are all done by our players.
Those are awesome.
They are super cool people. And again, it's the thing that when we first started showing Vostigar Peaks and all the creatures that are in there, it just blows people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this will be the first of many, many art streams, because if you guys are up for this, just going by what I saw in the chat today, people are really thrilled with them.
Oh,
Hey,
cool.
look,
Also, they have-
there's the manslaughter.
Yeah,
There's
there
a different
is.
model.
Classic.
That's the nautical one, actually.
So here's another, this is summer fashion. I expect we're going to see a lot of beaches and bikinis and that sort of thing.
So what are these postcards for?
These are
you
just
know?
postcards. Like if you're in Talara, you have these postcards to send home from your family, and this is just a contest
okay.
that one of our creators, Seshatar, has made for the community to participate in. We love it when our fans make their own contests, and we love to promote them and get people involved
Nice.
Cool.
because it really shows off a lot of the art in the games as well.
Sure.
Lots
Really
of
That's,
corgis.
that's pretty cool. Actually.
Lots of corgis. Well, it's the Summerfest, so yeah, lots of corgis for that. Oh, so cute.
I'm gonna
see-
start rolling.
Yes,
or-
start rolling. Okay. Cole on the side is going to, while we continue scrolling through here, Cole is going to yell out the winners in his big boy voice because he's nice and loud. Oh, that's so pretty. And you guys got to be really proud of the stuff you make in this game. Does it make you happy? Do you feel an amazing sense of pride when you go into the game and see things live?
Sure.
Absolutely.
You know.
Are your parents proud of you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very much so.
They don't quite understand what I do, but you know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but they have an idea, but
Uh-huh.
oh, that's it. That's all
Well,
of them?
thank you so much for posting all of those amazing images. Please, guys, after this stream, go and vote. And then tune into Seshatar's stream where he will announce the winners. We'll also post the winners. So, Cole, who has won what?
All right, so we're giving away 3 things. The first
Okay.
thing is a 30-day patron pass. 2 people won this. We got Dan is Private Idaho
Dana's Private Idaho.
and X Drago X.
X-Drago
Those
X.
are the 2 winners of the 30-day patron pass.
Fantastic.
Then we have 2 winners for a Golden Lifter mount. We've got Wiz Dave and Kinu02 or Kinu or Kinau
Kino
02. Congratulations, you won a Golden Lifter mount. And the last thing we're giving away is the Frosty Baby Budgelings.
Budgelings. Oh, they're so
Oh,
cute.
those.
I heard that the art team wasn't so thrilled about the baby budgelings. Is it because they
even
were
know
hard
about
to
it.
do or because they were derpy or what? Sorry, read off the winners. Sorry for
We have
interrupting.
2 winners for that. We have Siavon or Sevon, Kievon, something like that.
Cievon.
Yeah, and then we got Lily Lily.
Ah, yes, the infamous barcode type names. Congratulations to all the winners. Now tell us about the budgelings. You seem to know something about this.
The
Was it an
budgelings-
argument?
An argument? Oh, there was so much
Was
drama.
Was there eye rolling?
No.
I didn't even know about it.
They're so cute.
That's what I recall is everyone loved them.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone thought those were just adorable.
Okay, good. Can we get more? Like in more different colors?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
pretty
more are
sure.
coming.
Oh, great.
Talk to the designers.
And then after the stream, I'm going to lock you guys in a small room and we'll talk about the lady dwarf beards as an option again.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Because right now we have the one that's attached to the Christmas hat, but I want like a standalone one so that, you know, me freaking face doesn't freeze every winter. It's a shame to go out there and be embarrassed by me naked chin.
I think what I could have
I know how that
sworn we
goes.
talked about it like way back. But
Our conics
never-
keep saying no,
Yeah.
no, no. So I'm just gonna one day it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, those of you who are coming to Gamescom to hang out with Keypro or Seshatar, to come hang out with us at the Mixer. I'm so sorry that we sold out. It was the biggest venue that we could afford to get. Even if you can't get in, I'll try to get you a coach glass if you're lined up outside. They're really super great. I want to thank both Tim and Ferd from the art team for joining us. It was fantastic to have you all here, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks.